Hi friends. Just hopping on here this morning to chat with y'all about sponsoring and leading well. I feel like this is a topic that is really needed right now in this season, so I'm excited to chat with y'all this morning. So say hi when you pop on if you're watching the replay, #replay. I'm going to give it a few minutes, see who hops on with me, and make sure I can see comments. So say hello. Hi, Nicole. Good morning. Oh my goodness, I really hope I can see comments. Hi, Nicole. Thank you. I can see a comment. Yay. Okay. I don't have to watch it on my computer, which is such a blessing. Perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, like I said, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about, hi, Michelle, talk to you guys about sponsoring and in turn leading, okay? Because first off, those are two different things. And what does it look like to try to navigate that during the season of an incentive and beyond, right? Because I feel like this incentive is putting a lot of pressure on people to earn this incentive. But as you know, we are without control when it comes to getting the people that we have sponsored certified, and that can be frustrating. So good morning, Laura. Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to start with sponsoring because I have noticed in conversations that we've had on the team page and personal conversations, private conversations with people, there's just a lot of chatter about the lack of being able to sponsor and, how that's frustrating and what do they do? What are we doing wrong? And so I just want to reiterate things that we've talked about in the past. And if you're new here, then you may have not heard these conversations before. But this is something that I still feel like holds very true today, and that it's kind of one of those things that carries us through this business and will always be a constant. And that is when it comes to recruiting, sponsoring, having joint conversations, all of that together, the very basic of that activity and the role that you're taking on is that you are putting out an ask, you are planting seeds for people, and the reality of it is very seldom when you are talking about people joining Sensi, joining your team, considering the opportunity, very seldom when you bring that up to somebody, will they give you an answer of like, yes, right now. I don't think that I have ever approached somebody for the very first time about joining and them say, yes, absolutely, let's do it right now. And so I don't know if it's just a mindset shift that needs to happen for some people, and rightfully so, because like I feel like some people make it look really simple to sponsor. Some people make it seem like that they are just like wham bam, like having all these joint conversations and people are just joining left and right, and it's like this crazy wave of what am I doing wrong that they're doing, and is it just happening instantaneous for them? And the answer is no. Like the reality of it is that you have to have probably upwards of 50 join conversations a month, and you're lucky if you get 2 to 3 to join out of those 50 join conversations. But understand that when you are approaching people with intention, when you are asking people, what could Sensi do for you? Would you consider this opportunity? When you are stepping into that, what you are doing is planting a seed. Even if they say no, not right now, even if they blow you off, like it doesn't matter what the response is. If it's anything but yes, it doesn't matter what it is. That is a seed that you have now planted into their mind, okay? And everything else that I'm going to talk about and the things that we have talked about in the past regarding consistency, living the Sensi life, stepping back into those conversations with those same people, all of that is just going to be watering that seed, okay? Because the moment that you offer the opportunity to somebody what happens is that if they say no to you, the no, not right now, whatever reason they give you, what happens is that they automatically and probably like subconsciously are more tuned in to you and your business, because what you've done is you've planted that little like nugget, that little voice in their head that's like, maybe I could do this. Maybe like what would that look like? They're curious. They're curious about you and the opportunity. And why would she ask me that? What does she think that I could do that? Why does she think I could do this? Okay. And so then it is your job to then stay consistent or be consistent in your business and continue to show up. Because I gotta tell you, I see a lot of people who say they are struggling with sponsoring, and I go on your profile and I don't see you talking about what Scentsy is doing for you. I don't see you talking about how you're using Scentsy in your home. I don't see you talking about how amazing our products are, or promoting launches, or talking about Scentsy Club, or going live, doing silly selfies. I don't see you doing those things. And so then I wonder, okay, you may be having joint conversations, and that's great. But if I'm not seeing how Scentsy is living your life and I'm looking for it, these people who are just scrolling social media and have this little like voice in their head, the less often that they see you and see the opportunity, the quieter that voice gets in their head. Okay. And pretty soon, if you let it go for too long, they're going to forget about it. They're going to forget about it. And then when you come back 6 months from now and you're like, hey, Sarah, like, have you opportunity anymore? Like, I still think you'd be really great at it. Their answer might be like, no, not at all. I haven't thought about it, because they may not say this, but they haven't seen you even talk about it. They haven't seen you be consistent or talk about how Scentsy is blessing you. So when you're telling somebody, I think Scentsy would really bless you, but you're not talking about your own blessings, how can they trust that that's true? You are like the billboard for Scentsy, the opportunity, the change, the dreams coming true, the difference it's making in your life. You are the billboard for that. And if you are not showcasing those kinds of things to the people that you are having conversations with, and just day to day, like your customers, then there would be no reason that people would be interested in it. There'd be no reason that they'd want to come back and have questions about the opportunity or consider joining. Okay. So that is one of the biggest things that I see more often than not, is the lack of follow up on your part. And again, I go back to both of these things at its core leaves us without control, as far as we can have the joint conversations, but we can't force people to say yes. Okay, we can sponsor people, but we can't force them to work their business. Okay, so what can you do inside of these activities that you are in control of? Okay, you can't force people to say yes to joining or yes to the opportunity. You can't force people to do that. But what you are in control of is staying consistent, so that the opportunity is always front and center on their timeline, in your conversation, whatever is going on, they are seeing it. That's what you're in control of. Okay. And so, um, the conversations that you are having with people today, this month, the $20 join special, all that kind of stuff, first of all, you should be keeping track of all of that. Okay. If you're not writing it down, if you're not making notes about who you're talking to, what you're saying, what their reasoning is, if you're not making notes of that, you're doing yourself a disservice, because when the next join special comes, or when you have a discounted kit available, that is a perfect opportunity to return back to these people in a couple of months and say, hey, Sarah, I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about that conversation we had in May or whatever. And I still think that you'd be really great at this because, X, Y, and Z. I just earned annual sales and I got the $1,000 bonus, and you're a stay-at-home mom. And I just think that it would be such a blessing to you to be able to do this. Coming back to those conversations, watering that potential teammate, watering that seed that you've planted. Okay. That all just, it takes time. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes being intentional. Okay. Nothing that you say today is going to produce anything overnight, as far as joining goes. Okay. It's not going to produce things that you can visually see overnight. But the reality of it is that, again, if we're sticking with the, planting a seed and it growing and producing something, when you plant a seed, you don't see the roots that are taking hold before the flower ever breaks surface. Right? So the watering that you're doing, those conversations that you're having, the intentional posts, the showing up, the being consistent, you have no idea the roots that you are producing for those people that you've had those conversations with, the people that you've planted the seeds with. You don't see the roots that are taking hold. And then all of a sudden, in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, that person may reach out to you and say, hey, you know what? Man, I've been thinking about it, and I saw that you went to Disney World, or I saw that you made an extra $500 for your family, and I've just been thinking about it. Can you tell me more about the opportunity? I'm interested. Okay? That's what happens. That is how your team grows. Okay? And it's no surprise that we call it growing a team, right? Because we are literally growing by numbers, but we're also having to individually water people. We're having to plant seeds, and it starts from the very first time you have that conversation with somebody. You're planting the seed. And then by what you do in your daily life, your posts, your conversations, the way you talk about Scentsy, the way you present yourself on social media, all of that is helping to water and grow roots for those people. Yeah, there's going to be people who are just not interested, or there's going to be people who it takes years for them to take hold, years for them to finally say yes to the opportunity. Okay? Some plants just take longer to grow. There's nothing wrong with that. I get the pressure of, we're in an incentive and you really want to earn it, and you're doing everything you should be doing as far as PRV goes, and you're having the conversations, but man, nothing is sticking. Nothing is sticking as far as sponsoring goes. I understand that. Okay. But hear me very clearly. That is why you have to be having conversations long before a $20 join special. That's why you have to be having conversations long before an incentive is announced. Okay? Because I can tell you, after doing this for 3.5 years, earning every single incentive, and every single incentive is set up very similarly, where it is based off of PRV and sponsoring. Okay? And so I know that I have to be having conversations even in the down months, even when there's not a $20 join special, even when we're not in the middle of an incentive, or I've already hit my incentive. I'm planting these seeds now, knowing that come the fall incentive, I'm going to need more people, and I'm going to want Scentsy to bless more people's lives. And I'm looking ahead at that and saying, okay, in 6 months during the fall incentive, I have planted the seeds with these groups of people. And my hope is that something has taken root, and they will start to break ground then. Okay, for multiple different reasons, but again, I'm speaking to that pressure of a lot of you who are wanting to earn this incentive. So these conversations that you're having with people, it's a little bit of preparation. You have to be constantly having conversations with people. Every single month you have to be talking to people. Okay? It's not enough to just talk about it during the $20 join special. It's not enough just to talk about it during an incentive. Okay? You have to be talking about it every single day, every single month. You have to be presenting the opportunity to people. Period, point blank. Like that is end of story. You need to be having multiple conversations on a weekly basis. And if you want to break it down daily, I would say reach out to 5 people. And if you're running out of people, then you need to be expanding your network. You need to be having more parties. You need to be meeting new people. You need to be getting out in your community. You need to be asking friends, hey, do you know anybody who this opportunity may bless? Like, do you have any friends that are stay-at-home moms? Do you have anybody who's struggling with income? Do you have anybody who's looking for community? Like, do you know anybody like that? Because I would love to be able to talk to them about this opportunity. No strings attached, nothing crazy, no hey girl, no hey hun, cold messages. Like, I would just love to get to know those people to see if Scentsy could step into their lives. And no, Scentsy's not going to be for everybody. But putting those business glasses on and looking at the world and the circles around you, the people that you are associating with, the people on your social media, looking at them through the lens of how could Scentsy bless them? Because I've said it before, and I love this because Jennifer Anderson talks about it, and I just think that it's so true. Scentsy is the answer to anybody's problem. Scentsy is the answer. Like, Scentsy is the answer. Maybe some people don't want to go down that road, but the reality of it is Scentsy could be the answer for anybody's problems. Want friends? Scentsy can be the answer. Want extra income? Scentsy's the answer. You want to go on free vacations? Scentsy is the answer. You want financial freedom? Scentsy is the answer. Are you looking at your friends with that vision, with knowing that you literally have the answer to a lot of everybody's problems? Are you offering them that? Are you telling them, I have the solution for your problem? You need a part-time job? You want to watch your kids grow up? You want to stay at home? Like, I have the solution for you. Are you looking at it like that? Or are you arrows in and thinking about, I just need to earn this incentive. I just need my people to certify? Because there's a difference. And some of you, on the flip side, need to make that shift because it's not about you. It's not about this incentive. I get the pressure. I get wanting to earn. We are encouraging you guys to earn. I want you all to earn this incentive, but I want you to do it in a way that is healthy and that is helping the next person in line, because you earning this incentive to me means that you have turned around and helped the next person in line get to where you are, right? Helping somebody that you have sponsored turn into a certified consultant has helped them get that extra 5% pay increase. So when you told them Scentsy can be the solution to your financial problems, you are literally proving it to them by showing them the way, okay? And allowing them to step into that promotion where they've gotten now another 5% on top of their pay. The incentive is to encourage and to reward the behaviors that you should be doing the other 8 months of the year. High PRV, steady PRV, okay, and sponsoring. But it's not enough to just sponsor people. And I do think that there's a difference between recruiting and sponsoring, okay? Recruiting is just the simple act of bringing people on board. It's, hey, come join my team. Okay, I've recruited somebody. They said yes, they pressed that join button. That is the extent of recruiting. You have recruited someone. Sponsoring is literally the act of standing beside them, helping them get started, walking them through the process. Okay, and then at some point, that sponsoring role turns into a leadership role. If you have one person on your team, you're a leader. Okay, you are a leader. And some of you are a leader without the team. Some of you already have what it takes to be a really strong, amazing leader. We've seen those qualities in you. But when you have one person on your team, you are a leader. And taking hold of that and understanding how that works and recognizing that as a leader, you have given up more control as it pertains to the group of people that you have sponsored. You are giving up more control because you think that join conversations have little control. When you have people on your team, you're really not in control. You can't work their business for them. Okay, the best and only thing that you are in control of is you, and that's powerful. There's power in that. And that's why being a leader is so important, is because what's the mark that you're making? What are you doing that is leading well? Okay, and I think that there are three things that a leader does really well, okay, or that a good leader, a well-rounded leader does consistently. Okay. First is being present. Okay. And this is something that I think that every leader has to figure out, every leader transitions into. And sometimes it takes us longer, and sometimes it's really difficult and it's painful, because I say being present, but that does not mean being at people's beck and call. That does not mean being available 24/7. If you have a team, then you are in control of boundaries, and you are in control of what does it look like to be present with your people, be present with your team without 100% being absent from your life, from your family. Okay. I always say, I don't think that there's such thing as balance. I think that there's always something that is a little bit more sacrifice than the other. I don't think that it's ever a perfect, equal, balanced scale. But there is that acceptance of sacrifice and that contentment of I am being present with my team. Um, knowing what that looks like, and it's different for everybody. But the thing is that if you take it too far when it comes to being present, you are guaranteed burnout. You are guaranteed a lot of heartache and a lot of stress. Okay. And leaders know what their boundaries are. And a lot of the time it takes um, going too far, getting burnt out, getting really stressed out for you to take a couple steps back and go, okay, no, I need to reevaluate this. What do my boundaries look like? What am I okay giving up? The 80-20 rule is a really great rule to take to heart, as far as 80%, you work your business 80%. You give your team 20%. And when you're giving to your team, you're present. You are present with them. You are doing what a leader does, and you are beside them. You are showing the way. Because as a leader, you're stepping into, I know the way. I'm headed in that direction. I'm going that way. So let me show you the way. Okay? And you're present there with them. But that comes with boundaries. And so knowing how to be present. Okay? The second thing that I think that a well-rounded leader looks like is being reliable. Okay, again, I think that being present and being reliable goes hand in hand, because I'm not going to think that you're reliable if I don't feel like that you've ever been beside me. If I don't feel like that I can call you up, and whether you answer or not, whatever, but knowing that you'll call me back, knowing that if I come to you with a question, even if you don't know the answer, you're going to help me find it, or you're going to show me the direction in which to go. Okay, being a reliable person, being trustworthy, right? And of course, you guys, this goes back to even when your person that you've sponsored was a customer of yours. Okay, what are customers? Customers are people who you are building relationship with, who know, like, and trust you. Okay, so there is no reason that along the way, now that they have joined your team, now that they have joined the Sensi family, that trust should be broken because you have no longer become reliable. Okay. And that comes with being consistent. That comes with being consistent. Yes, there are boundaries in place. Yes, I 100% am on board with business hours and the 24-hour response rule, and those things need to be in place for your own personal development, for your own personal space, for your own mental health. Like, there has to be boundaries. But I know that, okay, it may take her 24 hours. It's Saturday, she's having family day, but I can trust that she will get back to me, that she's not going to ghost me, that I will hear from her on Monday. Okay? Being reliable. It matters. It matters. And it's a big deal when you are looking at leading a team of 100, when you're looking at a team of 10, it matters. And the last thing, the third thing, and not the last thing, because I think that there are a lot of qualities that make really good leaders. And I think that I don't think that there's like one molded person. I don't think that there's one person that says, okay, everything that this person is exactly what a leader is, and it's only this. I don't believe that. I think that there's a lot of different personalities and different people who I look at and say, wow, they're nothing like this person, but both of them are good leaders in their own right. But I do think that there are similar traits that they all share. Okay. And for me, these are the three things. So being present, being reliable, and then the third thing is showing up. Okay. And leaders, I am speaking to you. And I said this in the very beginning. If you have a team of one or a team of 50, you are a leader. Okay. And I do think that this directly affects people who say, okay, I can sponsor people, but then I can't get them to do anything. Okay. I'm trying to like encourage them and trying to get them to do things, but they're just not producing anything. And first off, I want to say that, not to do an excuse or to give a general like blanket statement, because I think that this is true for some but not all. I think it's the exception, or I think it's the exception, not the rule. But there are always going to be people who step into this business with a certain expectation, and when they realize that it's not an overnight success, that it does take work, it does take consistency, it does take effort, that there are people who are going to fall off. There are going to be people who say one thing and then don't produce. Okay. And as a leader, learning that, going through that process is like uber painful. Okay. And it's frustrating and it's stressful and it sucks. I get that. I hear you. Okay. And as a leader, just recognize if you're not there yet, if that hasn't happened to you yet, just know that it's coming. Because I can promise you, there are very few things that I can tell you for certain in this business, but that is one of them. You will have people step into your circle who say they're in it for the long haul, but then never show back up. Okay? And that's just what it is. We cannot save everybody. We cannot force people to work their business. Again, it goes back to, what are we in control of? And you are in control of how you show up. And I think that there is I think that it's so great to hear leaders say they have private group chats and they have maybe their own team pages, or they check in with their people one on one. I think that that is really great, and I encourage you to do that. I think that there are certain things that are better than others as far as how to navigate a growing team, but whatever works for you works for you. I think that that's really great. If it is working for you, and you're going to have to reevaluate that often. You're going to have to look at your group chat. You're going to have to look at, your I used to sit at my computer on Wednesdays or Tuesdays, and I would go through my entire team and I would text everybody. And I'd be like, how are you doing today? Like, how's it? And weekly I would do that. But that's just not, I can't duplicate that. I can't do that to the over 620 people we have on our team now. Like, I cannot do that anymore. And so I had to reevaluate, what does it look like to be connected to my team and to the people who call me their director or whatever. So reevaluating those systems that you have in place and asking yourself, is it duplicatable? Is it working for me? Is it producing what I want? Uh, Doing that often, okay? But here is where I am at when it comes to leaders. When I say showing up, yes, show up privately, because that matters, okay? I send out emails, I check in with people. And I do that for the people who I see are showing up for their business as well. And all that's really great. But I want leaders, and I think that a big part of um, leading well is that, let me show you the way. Okay. And showing the way looks like sharing what you're doing, jumping on doing trainings, talking about your successes or the things that didn't go well, or what you're doing in your business, or how are you having these joint conversations? How are you recruiting people? How are you flipping parties? Showing up on a daily basis as a leader, because now you have a team. I don't care if it's one person, I don't care if it's 100 people. You are a leader, and leading the way is showing the way. It is showing people, yes, okay, I actually kind of know what I'm doing because I've done it. If you've only recruited one person, you did it. You're further than other people, right? So tell us how you did that. And I don't care. I'm sorry, my eyelash is like being weird. I don't care if it's only one person and it took you however long to get that one person to join. Tell us about it. Tell us about it. I think that people talk themselves out of um, being real with us and showing up on the team page because they say, well, I'm only doing what like Brie and Alex talks about doing. So it's repetitive. Okay. But the thing that I want you to understand is the people who joined you, the people who joined your team is goes back to the know, like, and trust factor. Okay. And you can privately text them or have them in a group message and be cheering them on and talking to them about all that and stuff. And that's great. But there is something to be said for you as a leader stepping out of your comfort zone, being repetitive if that's what it feels like, which I don't think that it is, but stepping out of your comfort zone, getting on and doing a training, posting regularly, whatever on our team pages. There's something to be said for other people taking notice and your team, the people who call you sponsor, director, whatever, to look at it and say, okay, that's what a leader does. She's my leader. I look at her like that. That's what a leader does. That's how you show up. And not only that, but some people aren't going to like, some people just are not going to hear, okay? They may listen to me and Alex, but they're not going to hear what we're saying. But even if you're not their sponsor, you could post something and they hear it, okay? And that's just fact. There are people who don't watch my lives, don't pay attention, whatever, and that's okay. But they feed off of every word that Alex says, and vice versa. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we've all been given this opportunity. That's why you have been given the opportunity to be a leader, is so that you can step into it with your voice, with your mind, with your creativity, with your heart and your passion to have a voice. It's not meant to be behind the scenes. Leading is not meant to be behind the scenes. It's meant to be up front, okay? Not show offy, not look what I'm doing. Oh, I'm the best. No, it's meant to be look, I want to help you guys, show you the way. This is what's working for me. This is how I'm approaching join conversations. Try it. Maybe it'll work for you. Okay? I feel like that is, while it's third on my list, I feel like that is one of the biggest downfalls I see of not just like leaders here, but leaders in general, is that they fail to like really recognize and value their own journey and what they're doing on a daily basis. They forget that there's value in that. And showing up is saying, look, like, this is how I got here. This is what I'm doing today. This is how I booked this party. This is what I plan on doing to book a party. Just wanted to share it. Okay? You got to show up because you just, again, it goes back to planting seeds. You never know on a live who you're inspiring and what roots. And I've had so many people come to me and be like, I don't see them watching the lives. I don't see them liking posts. I don't see them doing any of that. But then they come to me and say, hey, I watched your live the other day. Hey, I was reading this post and I implemented everything that you said and it worked. I had no idea. But people are watching you, just like in your journey with Scentsy, and you're hoping to get customers watching you. Your team, other people on this team are watching. They're watching what you're doing. You want your team to have high PRV? Are you talking about like wide open? Are you talking about how you're getting high PRV, or are you? You want your team to book parties, but are you talking about how you're booking parties? You want to earn the incentive, but are you talking about how you plan on earning the incentive? Showing up. You have to show up. I know that it's scary. Again, I know that there can be doubt about, is it even valuable? But man, if you can get past it in your business, if you can say, okay, well, this is scary. Like, I'm literally going to post every single day about me spraying my bed with Scentsy Fresh. Like, Alex and Bree tell me that like being repetitive is good and people have to see it a certain amount of times and things like that. Yeah. Same goes for your team. Same goes for this team. Like, you have to show up, and we have to be repetitive. This is not the first time that I've had to have a conversation about sponsoring and leading. Like, this is not the first training that I've done on it. But there's new people here. Somebody may hear it differently today. You have to continue to show up. Okay? Here comes my son. So I'm going to end it there. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you guys for hopping on live. And really take these things into consideration and start implementing them. Okay? Bye, guys.